Way. I promise this is not going to be boring, but my name is Tara Young, and I'm the GE and academic advisor here at the Concord campus. What I am going to do in this session is I want to walk you through some basic requirements, how to use the website, how to register, and basically to get an overview of this entire campus, but in a way that's absolutely useful. I warn you now, I talk with my hands constantly, I'm from New York, I'm very direct, so if you can handle that, I hope it works for you. Is there anybody who needs me to talk to them directly because of a hearing impairment or anything like that? Okay, cool. Alright, what I want to direct your attention to is the main website. Now, this is the hub of everything that you are going to need, but nobody has taught you how to use it until now. You all know how to find the website, right? Okay. Now, the first thing I want you to recognize is on this sheet that I gave you. There's a listing here of GE classes. Now, there are 3 GEs that everybody has to take, and you're all transfers, correct? Okay. To start off in this school, the 3 safest classes that you can take are going to be these 3 upper division classes called B6, C4, and D4. Circle it. You only need 1 class of each. The reason I'm highlighting this right now is because when you haven't had an evaluation done and you don't know what classes to take and you're going to be registering probably starting next Tuesday, these are the 3 safest to take. They're called B6, C4, D4. You can never have done them at a community college. They're upper division. They also have a residency requirement, must physically be done here. So right now, you have 3 classes to start off with. Your next question is, how do I find them, right? Okay, let's go to the website. See this tab up here? Current students. This is everything for you. Current students, right? There's kind of a logic to this website, and as you get more familiar with it, it's going to make more sense. Now, I told you that I am the GE counselor, right? So we only talk about academics. And in particular, we are only talking about general education requirements. Oh, look, there's a general education page right there. Okay? What you do in order to be able to find these classes, you come to the general education page. Now, the faculty made this page to tell you what classes cover what area of GE and grad requirements. Let me do that again. We go back to the main page. And by the way, if you click on the logo, it always takes you back to the main page. Current students. We only talk about academics. General education page, got it? Then you're coming to this page where essentially you have to follow the logic of who you are. Who are you? You're a transfer. Click transfer. If you click on native, you're going to get the wrong stuff. Okay? If you click on transfer, and you will go ahead and then you follow the logic of what year do you belong to. You are arriving in this school now. This is 2004 and later. So, you're going to click on that one. Okay? Now what you're going to see on this page is, and for you who just walked in, the 3 safest classes for you to ever take when you're first starting off here are called B6, C4, and D4. You're going to go to this link, and what you see here is a bunch of classes. What the faculty have done is you can look up the number of every single one of these, but see the sentence? The bolded courses are what is offered in that quarter. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to pay attention to the discipline, you're going to pay attention to the number. Then we're going to go research and read the course descriptions of each one of these classes. You only need to take 1 B6. Take it sometime before you graduate. There's no kind of schedule on it. Okay? So that's how you find the list. If I go back, and you'll notice there's a C4. There's a list of different courses. And if I go over to D4, there's a list of different classes. Okay? Now, let me hit you to the rule that is going to affect your life constantly. Watch me. Your degree is 3 parts. Okay? Major, you go to the major department. I'll talk about that in a second because they are supposed to tell you what to take. GE and grad requirements, you are coming to me here at Concord. The rule is, whatever is your major prefix is only for major. You can never use that for grad requirements. For GE. Okay? So what's your major?
Biology.
Okay, you are a bio major. You're going to have a bunch of bio classes. But, if you look at that list, and there's a bio class, you can't take it for GE. You may have to take it for major. That's cool. But you don't think you're going to take it for bio as well. Okay? What's your major?
Liberal studies.
Liberal studies. You have a lot more flexibility. You can do a whole lot of things, and Ellen Woodard is going to be your advisor, and she'll tell you exactly what to do. But, in general, your prefix can never be used for GE. Okay? Next question. You with me? Going too fast? I know you walked in. I'll get you. Alright. How do you read the catalog? What are these numbers? I don't understand. Alright. What Tara teaches you, the root of everything is your school website, right? Right? Can I get a yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, alright. I love quick links. See this over to the right? This is the quick and dirty way to just be able to find stuff. Here's Blackboard. Have y'all used Blackboard before? Has anybody not used it? Okay, instead of handing out syllabi and reading assignments in class, teachers put everything in Blackboard. So you're going to go to this after you register for classes in order to go, oh, what are the materials for my class? Okay? Going down a little bit, see this link for Horizon email? This is your official email from the university. You must use this email. You cannot, I do not recommend you forward it to another account. The registrar and financial aid have explicitly said if you write to them with something else, they don't have to answer legally. You stick to your Horizon account. My CSUEB is going to be your hub of student business. We'll get to that later. And by the way, it is shut off for the next 5 days, and we'll talk about that in a second. University catalog is what I want you to look at. Alright, so this is this year, right? So you're going to go enter the catalog. Okay? Now, this is going to start to look a little weird, and I understand the hard thing about you were at one school with one system, and now you got to come here and learn a whole new system. So I'm going to break you in as quickly as I can. You come to this page, and over to the top left, you see this thing called undergraduate chapters. I don't know why they call it chapters, it's majors. So just remember, weird, okay? You click on that, and this entire list, here's all of the majors of this university. Alright? Remember back on this page, on the general education page, you see all these subjects? I go in the catalog, here's every single subject, right? So let's just pick on criminal justice. What you're going to see here is just like this index. Here's the department information. And that's the phone number, and that's the address, usually at the Hayward campus. Now, let me pause to talk about major for a second. At this school, to find out what major classes you have to take, you have to talk to the major advisor. You now know how to go to the catalog and get the phone number of the department that belongs to you to say, hey, what classes do I need to take? How do I connect with somebody? Now, departments do different things. Some will give you a piece of paper. Some will say, come in and meet with me. Some will email you. Well, whatever it is, tomorrow you can call and say, how do I find out what classes I need to take for spring? At this campus, the faculty rule their world. So you should be touching base with them as far as what classes do I need to take. Here's the other thing. You've been paying attention to the budget cuts. Not every class is available every quarter. And definitely not every class is available every quarter at Concord. It's a branch campus, it's smaller. So you need to touch base with them regularly as to what class do I need to take this spring, because it may not be offered for another 2 years. Okay? So, everybody gonna contact their major department? Groovy beans. Now, let's go back to this index again. Every single major lists major requirements. What classes am I supposed to take? If you click on that, what you will see, let me jump over here. Some of the courses are lower division. Some of them are upper division. Each major, for the most part, has an option, an area of focus that you all will have to choose at some point. As transfers, sometimes you're wondering, hey, did I take something at the community college that already covers this? The way to find out is to contact the major advisor. They are the only people who can say for sure this was covered at the community college or not, and what you have to take next. Make sense so far? Cool. Now, I'm still in a department. Let me go all the way back up at the top. Now I can scroll up and down. I like these links too. What I love even better, undergraduate courses. Every single major lists undergraduate courses. If you click on that, what you see is, here's the course numbers, title, in parentheses the number of units, here's the description. You make a decision, read it. Do I love it? Do I hate it? Because in some of your majors and with GE, you can say, oh, I really want to take this. I don't ever want to take that. And my trick with students is take a piece of paper, put love and hate on your major. Write down all the classes you love. And that way you've already done the research for the remaining time you're in this school to be able to say, oh, these are the favorite classes I have to take. Now sometimes there's a class you don't want to take, but you have to take because it's required. But at least where you have some choice with electives, you've already got it done, okay? You can do the same thing with B6, C4, and D4. Make sense? Cool. The other thing I want you to pay attention to in these descriptions is prerequisites. You have to take this class before you take this one. Our system will let you sign up for anything. And some students have gotten in trouble because it'll be, fourth week, and they're not supposed to be in that class. You have to be proactive and read the course descriptions to find out what the prerequisites are, so you don't end up in trouble. Questions so far? Yeah.
You keep saying GE. Is that GE for upper division separately, or is that GE from like if you transfer from a community
Both.
college? Okay.
Both. So, for advising, you're going to come to me for upper and lower division GE. And this other piece called grad requirements, which I will go over. Okay? But right now, the three safest ones you got, B6, C4, D4. Okay? And you know how to find them, right?
Yes.
Good. All right. Now, back in this listing of all the majors, you now know how to find the course description of every single class that is here. You're ready to go. Now, the next piece is what's on that sheet that I gave you. I said down at the bottom, these are upper division GEs. This is what happened to all of you when you applied to the school. You got some transcripts. You sent them to admissions. And they're supposed to go through it line by line to say what comes in, transfers, and what does not. That is going to be called the CSU Academic Report. It's going to show up in your My CSU East Bay. Okay, let me say that again. You sent your stuff to admissions. They're supposed to do an evaluation. For some students, they're evaluated quickly. For many students, it can take up to 2 quarters. Some of you may not have an evaluation right now. The way that you're going to find out if you have an evaluation is that you're going to check your My CSUEB, and I'm going to show you how to find that. Okay? Now here's the caveat. Right now, My CSUEB is shut down because we're switching from version 8 to version 9. Tonight, you can't go into it. You won't be able to go into it until Monday at 12 o'clock. Okay? But, in the meantime, you can look for what B6 you want to do. If. What C4. What D4. And you can start to go through your major listings, because you know how to get to your major now, right? To be able to say what classes I want to take. And you can also contact the major department. Which ones do I really need to do for spring, for summer, for fall? Yes, sir?
So until the evaluation is completed, we cannot sign up for the classes?
No, you can sign up. I cannot tell you at this point of your community college classes
Got it.
what's transferred, what has not,
Okay.
what covers GE, what has not, in the official report.
Got it.
Okay? Now, I said your degree is 3 parts. Major, GE. There's also this other chunk called grad requirements. Okay? I know your community colleges have spent a lot more time talking about GE. Sometimes grad requirements sneaks up on people. And I want to walk you through it because GE is pretty uniform college to college, but not every community college knows where you're going to go, so they're not going to talk about Harvard's versus Berkeley's versus wherever. They talk to you about GE, then you get here, and some students get surprised. What, I have to do this too? Yeah, you have to do this too, okay? I'm going to give you a heads up now. The requirements are listed here. They're also listed down at the bottom of this sheet. Let me just walk you through it a little bit. So, one of the first grad requirements is American Code, also called American Institutions. Now I want you to sort of think about what you've taken in the past. This, at the community college, was called US 1, 2, and 3. Some of you may have done what's called a US history class and a California history class. If you feel like you have done both, it is very likely that you have done American Code, but I want to wait for the official evaluation. If you know for a fact you never took a US history or California history, you have that yet to do. I'm not eager for you to hurry up and register for one of those classes right now. I'd rather wait for the evaluation because I know your B6, your C4, and your D4 is the safest right now. Okay? But I just want you to think about that. For those of you who are thinking, oh, I know I've never done American Code. Here's the listing. American Code is broken out into 2 parts. A first category, U.S. history, and a second category, California-ish history. Take 1 class from each part, pass it, you're done. Or, I also give you options. I told you I'm from New York and I talk with my hands. I'm also incredibly cheap. If you need to save some money and take a class at a community college, you are going to check with me first to make sure that you are taking the right one that is going to fit these categories. I do not want you to use assist.org on your own because students use it wrongly and it's also set up for major, not for this, in the way that you all use it, okay? Okay, so possibly, and we're going to wait on the evaluation, you may have an American Code requirement. Another requirement, grad requirement for everyone, is cultural groups and women. In short, everybody needs to take a course on United States, Blacks, Asians, Latinos, Native Americans, women, gays, or lesbians in the title and their contributions to the United States. So, if you took, like, I don't know, Mexican American history, it's probably okay. We'll wait for the evaluation. But if you took Mexican history, it's not about the contributions of those people to the United States. It's got to be those people in the United States focus, okay? You can do women in the United States. What you cannot do is women in Iran. Got it? So, how many of you feel like you've already got a course that's about United States, blacks, Asians, Latinos, Native Americans, women, gays, or lesbians? Okay, so if you know that you don't have it, this is maybe a requirement you need, or you can also take it at a community college. You check in with me for cheaper. Okay? Next requirement. Questions so far? Okay, rolling along. You hungry? Ready to go? Let's go back. Area F. Performing arts and activities. This, again, is a grad requirement. We require 4 units of the doing, not the study of. Paint, sculpt, do football, do weightlifting, yoga, Pilates, whatever. 4 quarter units or 3 semester units, depending on what it is. But it's something that's about 80% activity. So if you've done, I don't know, singing, acting, dancing, whatever. Not the history of dance, but you gotta do the dance, okay? Don't study the artists. You do the drawing. You do the painting. That sort of thing. That is one of the grad requirements, area F, performing arts and activities. Next category. University writing skills requirement. Now this is an absolute must for everyone. What this requirement is, it's run by the testing office, and in essence, this is an assessment of your writing skills. The university wants you to ideally get it done in the first year that you're here, okay? Now, I want you to sit down with a cup of tea and a bag of caramels for real and go through this entire thing. In short, I'm not going to read this. In short, what it says is you have a choice. Take the 3-hour writing test or take a class. The test is called the WST, the Writing Skills Test. And if you take the test, you have 2 chances to take it, and if you pass, you're done. If you fail twice, you have to take the class, and the class is English 3000 or 3001. Everything you need to know is on this website, and you see a link here for assessment and testing when it wants to work correctly, okay? So, if you have questions about this test, call the testing office. How many of you have ever gone to another CSU? Nobody, okay, because if you were at another CSU, you may have taken this test already and transferred it in. But, for sure, this is a requirement for everyone. You could take the English 3000 or 3001 class. You could take it spring quarter. That's fine. You could, if you have the time. But if you have like 27 kids and 3 jobs, taking a 3-hour test is probably going to fit your schedule a little better. And that's why I want you to read through this website and look at how do you register register online, the exam date, and yes, additional fees. But even better, there's sample topics. There's a sample essay with comments, and even better than that, there's a PowerPoint with a voiceover that is a prep, step-by-step, line-by-line for this test. It took about 2 hours. It was grueling, but it's actually really good. And it's just in this test. When you click on WST and you look at these links over on the side, workshop information, you're going to take some time to browse through this, okay? Now, speaking of browsing, oh, sorry, one more thing. There's another grad requirement down at the bottom called second composition. This is not critical thinking. This is not the A1, A2, A3 that you took back at community college. This is a separate requirement. Transfers getting confused all the time. So, what community colleges did you all go to?
DVC.
DVC. So did you take English 126?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you're done with this. How about you?
Went to Heald.
I don't know the numbers that well. Heald is harder to deal with.
DC 126.
126, so you're done. Okay, how about you?
Same.
Oh, okay. Then you're all done with second composition. I just know that one.
Sweet.
Yeah. No, aren't you excited? Yay. Oh, this workshop was worth it. Okay, now, next part we're going to look at. Let me hip you to how to navigate this website a little bit. What you will notice, this is a lot of stuff, right? But more than anything, I showed you quick links. I want to show you, see the search button up here? You can search anything. WST, Financial Aid Office, Concord Campus, anything can be sought right in that box. So if you get stuck and you only have a general idea, go there. Or, see over to the top right, A to Z directory. When you click on that, what it is basically every office, every function in alpha order. So if you're not dead sure, that's another way to be able to find the information. Okay? When you click on the logo, it always takes you back to the main page. Now, let's get to the juicy stuff. How do I register for classes? After Monday, 12 o'clock. Oh, I can't even show you an example on here. Okay, I'm going to bootleg this a little bit just because they really shut it off altogether. Let me talk you through, because it's not too different than the system you used at Heald and at DVC. Let me go back to current students and the class schedule. Oh, that's useless too. They really did a number on this, didn't they? Alright, this is complete bootlegging, but I'm gonna walk you through. You use the PeopleSoft system in order to register at your previous school. You clicked on a subject, you put in a number, you search for it, right? This system is not all that much different, except you're just going to go into your My CSUEB to be able to find it. Be sure that you click Spring 2012, because for some reason the system used to default to some other quarter. And people are like, why can't I register for fall 2006? Because it was a long time ago. Okay? In the registration, there's the add button, the drop button, but it sort of works like you are buying things online. You select a class and you put it in your shopping cart, but it doesn't mean you're enrolled. You then have to hit the enroll button for that class to become yours. Be very careful about that, because a lot of students just, oh, it's in my bucket, I'm done. No, it's not. You have to actually hit enroll, okay? It's not mad complicated. Your thing right now is trying to figure out which B6 do I want to take, what C4 do I want to take, that sort of thing. So, I told you I'm the advisor here at the Concord campus, right? Well, this is my little group of students. I feel a little possessive, and I also gave you a cheat sheet. So, grab the other sheet. Okay? The red, white, and blue one. That one, yeah. So, I could have you dig through the entire catalog. All those Hayward classes, all those Concord classes, all those Oakland classes. Why bother? What I did is I gave you this list of Concord and online classes only. Okay, I've already done the research for you. I've already given you the B6s, the C4s, and the D4s. Got it? Made your life a whole lot easy. When do I get my cookies? Anyway, don't give me cookies. Anyway. In the notation, where is it? If it has a pound sign next to it, those courses are online. So, see the B6? See Environmental Studies 4320? That class is physically on campus. The third one over, Geology 3401, that class is online. Like I said, Concord doesn't have every class available all the time, but it does have some stuff. What you're going to be doing, 1201, Monday, please put it in your calendar. You're going to go into your My CSUEB, and it gives you a specific date and time that you can register. The registration period is 2 weeks, but not everybody gets the first day. Everybody gets a specific date and time. You're going to go into your My CSUEB, go to the enrollment tab, because it's all about enrollment, adding classes and all that sort of thing. And you're going to find the specific appointment that you have to be able to register. Make sense? Questions?
My question is, last I looked, for the official transcripts as initiated, they're evaluated. Even though it says that, we can still register?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
what I was.
you should be able to register. Now, sometimes there are problems. That's why you are going to call or come to this front desk Monday if at this point you're not able to register. Now, for some people who've just gotten accepted to this university, their MyCSU East Bay and their background information is still being turned on. And when you go to MyCSU East Bay, it will look very unformed. You will know. So your questions are going to be for the admissions office. When is this going to turn on? Hurry up. When are y'all going to do it? Those are the phone calls you may be making. If you turn on your MyCSU East Bay and you see address, phone number, and the enroll button, you're probably ready to go. But with anything, if you ever have problems, call or come by this lobby area. Okay?
And the enroll button will be where?
That enroll button is in your everything is in your MyCSU East Bay. Your portal, your Facebook, your world of business is in MyCSU East Bay. Okay? Now make a note. Like I said, some people have been evaluated, new people, and some people are not evaluated. There's a thing called a to-do list, and I'm so sorry, I wish I had a sample for you. This is really frustrating. In the to-do list, there could be a line that says, review your GE evaluation, okay? That's the evaluation I was telling you about. If it says initiated says we started. Notified says we finished. So if it says initiated, there's nobody to call, there's nothing to speed it up, you can't bring somebody some chocolate, not me, no. But you already have 4 classes to get you started, B6, C4, D4. Then you can do your major. Now here's my advice on major. How are we on? Oh God, we're good, okay. My personal feeling, register for the major classes that you think need to happen first, okay? You could always squeeze in a GE. There's a GE available every single quarter. Now, whether it's the GE that you want is a different story. Then you have to deal with what classes that are open. That's another issue. But as far as registering, feel free. You may this quarter do all major and ignore everything I've given you. Totally fine. You may go, I don't like any of these major classes. Maybe I'll just do all GE. Mix it up in any way that you want to. But the hard thing about major classes, they're not available every single quarter. That's why I want you to check with the major department. Yes, ma'am?
The advisors know which classes will be available the next quarter or not?
In general.
Okay.
In general. And because we are CSU and we rely on the California budget, and the California budget comes out in spring, do we know next year's budget classes? No. But we know it for the upcoming.
And then one other question.
Mhm.
If we come here, would they be able to tell us if the class is available at the Hayward campus?
The 2 things. You can talk to an advisor about what's available, but the class schedule, which is listed here, I'm under current students, class schedule. What you normally do, but you can't really do it now, is you're able to go on to this and select all the classes for spring 2012, and then you can choose by campus, Hayward or Concord. I just gave you the Concord sheet. So for those of you who live nearby, this sheet is much easier for you. But if you have flexibility, Hayward has a lot more offerings, a lot more times, especially if you have like a schedule that you're trying to juggle. You can pick either campus. You have paid for both campuses. You own both campuses. If you cannot stand me as a counselor, it's true. You are able to go to, I'm part of academic advising, career education. There are 10 people at the Hayward office. There's 1 person here. So, go wherever it makes sense for you, okay? Because you paid for it. Same thing with the gyms, same thing with the discount movie passes, all that stuff. Yes, there are. I'll tell you about that if we have time.
I have one question.
Yes.
On the to-do list, if you don't see anything on there,
Then they're still forming your stuff, but try to register anyway,
okay.
okay? Now, let's go back to something main, because you and I talked about this earlier. You are switching from the way that your school did it to understanding how our school does it. For example, we don't give A+. For example, if you walk out of class and don't show up again, it's a grade that's equivalently gonna pull down your GPA, okay? If you're gonna withdraw, you have to do paperwork. Teacher's gotta sign it. Department's gotta sign it, okay? You have to learn new policies. How do I learn these? So, you're gonna go to the main page. And I can search catalog here, because I taught you how to search. And I go to university catalog, right? If I enter the catalog, there's this thing called general information. I promise you, if you want stress and drama, don't read it. But if you want to be able to understand how this school works and make a smooth transition to this university, I'd love if you read everything. Sit down with a cup of tea and a bag of caramels and go through all of it. But the sections that cause students the most drama, and I want you to read the 4th, the 7th, and the 8th item. The 4th item is Degree Information Baccalaureate. This is where it lists out exactly what you're supposed to do for your degree. Everything I'm telling you. GE, grad requirements, major. It's all in there. So if you don't listen to me, it's there. 4th item. 7th item, fees and expenses. Where's your money going? I know you want to know. 8th item, grading and academic standards. Things like if you start a class graded, and then 7th week I want to switch to credit, no credit, because I'm afraid of what it's going to do to my GPA. Can I change it? No. All those policies that are going to affect your life and that are different from what you did at DVC, at HEALD, to learn what it is here. Please start with that, because it's going to save you the most problems on this campus. Yes?
For general education, could you do the credit, no credit option?
For the most part, yes. For the most part. But the school has a limit, and I want you to read it, of you can take no more than 60 units, credit, no credit. But your major department then sometimes has different limitations. So, I still need you to check with your major department, because even though it says 60 for GE, some major departments will say no, it's less than that. So you're going to check with your major advisor, and you're going to check with me. I promised when I took this job, I want to make my students dangerous enough to ask the right questions and get their own information. Once you read this, and you're going to be seeing the policies, you'll have a basic of understanding. But I'm here to have your back and help you with questions and such. So hopefully you'll have read this, but then you'll touch base with me and you'll touch base with your major advisor. Okay? Any other questions? All right. Tired and bored? Are you ready to go? I can do like 5 more minutes and it'll be juicy. I promise. Yeah?
Keep going.
Keep going? All right. Little tricks. Ooh, let's go to Blackboard. Okay. Well, okay. Jump back over here. You're on the main page, right? Click on the logo, and you go to Quick Links, and here's Blackboard. Now, Blackboard, like I said before, is where you're going to go to get your syllabus, some of your reading assignments, etc., etc. By the way, you all have a NetID? You all have a password? You're going to be using it for everything. So the same thing for my CSUEB is the same thing for Blackboard. Now, on your Blackboard, I am hoping that all of you are going to become part of this thing called Concord Campus Students. This is our listserv, if you will, for students on this campus. More than anything, I created advising resources. In here, you are going to see a couple of things. Those websites to review professors. How do I deal with online classes if you've never taken online classes before? I'm thinking about grad school or scholarship. How do I write a personal statement? Sort of the things that my students have not been able to find easily, or they don't exist in the university. I put this in here for Concord students. More for you as brand new students. I made advising videos, so when you forget everything I told you, here's me telling you about how do you read the catalog, how do you find the general education page, how do you register, And let's talk about managing the quarter system, okay? How many of you were ever in the quarter system before? Okay, this will shock you coming here. You've switched from taking a nice amount of time to a 10-week system. You get here, 3 weeks later you have midterms. 3 weeks after that you have midterms, 2 weeks after that you're beginning finals. That's a very quick turnaround. If you're sick for a week, you're behind. The way that you really survive quarter system, you're staying regular with your calendar. So how many of you have a calendar? I don't care if it's paper on the phone, sort of whatever it happens to be. Get your syllabi for all of your classes. And hopefully it has the dates of the quizzes and the finals and things like that. Put them in your calendar. So if on the 30th you have a final, what do you do on the 29th? Study. Block some time. But you're not doing it all the 29th. You're spreading it out the day before the day before. That's just one quiz. You may have 3 or 4 classes. Now at this school, 3 classes is full time, 12 units. That's enough to get you started. I am not a big fan of people jumping in, I'm gonna start with 22 units, and I'd be like, that's nice. What school do you want to transfer to afterwards? Joke. But keep it easy on yourself because it is incredibly stressful if you've never done it before. If you've done it before, you may be okay. But if you had 3 classes, 12 units, it's safe, and then build your way up to it, okay? But you also gotta have a life. Put in your classes, but put in the time. I gotta do grocery, I gotta do laundry, I gotta hang out with my honey, whatever it happens to be. But put it all in there. As long as you have a plan, you can change it. But it's when you don't have a plan, you forget things sneak up on you, and all of a sudden you're kind of jacked, okay? Yes?
I heard the quarterly system is better because you go faster and it's cheaper.
Once you get used to it, a lot of people say that. But it's when you're transitioning in from one system to another, it's a little shocking for a lot of folks. Okay? So give yourself some mercy. 12 units is enough to get you started. Now with some majors you don't have a choice. But if you can, again, it's one of those things you're going to be thinking about, how much major I take, how much GE I take. Yes?
At DVC, they say like, oh, you should study for like 4 hours on with this type, like 5 units or whatnot.
The rule at this school, and I disagree with it, and I will say that, for every hour of classroom, you spend 2 hours of studying. Depending on the subject, some classes need a lot of time, some will take less of my time. Prejudice and discrimination was easy for me. Organic chemistry killed me. I spent days on that, so it really depends. But the general rule of thumb, I hate that phrase, but is, each class hour, 2 hours of study. But you also do what makes sense for you, and if you have family, whatever it happens, and y'all got jobs, you're gonna be balancing a lot of stuff, so you're gonna, kind of figure it out as you go along. But to have a schedule plan definitely makes your life much easier. Going back to this, and tonight, you can all check your blackboard. And the main tab is this one called Faculty and Staff. Look at this third tab called My Online Storage. This will be very quick. I cannot stand USB ports, thumb drive, jump drives, whatever y'all call them, that sort of thing. This is your online USB port. You should be able to upload, copy, back up your computer at home if you have one, all of your homework. So if your home gets destroyed, you have not lost your schoolwork. Okay? Now, everybody gets a certain amount of megabytes. If that's not enough for you, you go back to the main tab. The service desk is your IT support, and you say, I want 200, or whatever number you want. That's what you ask for, you've paid for it, it's part of your tuition. Okay? Now, I told you about Concord campus students. Some of you will go home and you'll turn on your blackboard and you're like, I'm not in Concord campus students. You can try to enroll by going to organizations and clubs. And what you will do is search Concord campus. And you'll hit go, you'll touch the arrow, hit enroll, and hopefully the system lets you enroll, and that way you can get to my videos. My cheat sheet is in the advising resources, and everything else that I think is useful will get you to your Blackboard, okay? So now, what did I leave you with? You can look up any course description in the catalog. You know at least a couple of classes to get you started and your major. If you need help, where do you go? That lobby. Or if you're at Hayward, you're going to go to the, what is that building called? Student Academic Services? Big green building, looks like an aquarium. You're going to contact your major department. How do I find out what classes I need to take? And then, Monday, 12:01, you're going to log into your My CSU East Bay. You're going to find out what day I can register, what time I can register. If it doesn't look fully formed, you're going to touch base with admissions. Okay, how long is this going to take to turn my thing on? Okay? If you have any outstanding bills, by the way, they want you to pay that first before they let you register. Same thing they did back in community college, okay? You make an appointment with me, I want to see you all at least twice a year. I really want to see you in the beginning of your schooling here, at least each quarter. Contact the front desk to make appointments with me. There is no calling, there is no emailing me. But here's my last trick. Then I'm going to let you go, okay? Tara teaches you everything is on the main website, right? Right? Okay, cool. See the staff tab? Click there. So, there's a campus directory. President's name is Leroy. I don't know how to contact Leroy. Yeah, you do. Type in, even if you have part of a name. And if you click on the hyperlink, there's the email, the phone number of that person. Okay, I'm a nursing. I talked to somebody in nursing, but I kind of forgot what her name was. Here is everybody who's in the nursing department, all 3 pages. You can find an email, phone number, office for any person on this campus. My name is Tara Young. I'm the only Tara on campus. That's it. Okay? So with that, we're done. Was that